We're on Centenary Range at Bisley, so the National Rifle Association shooting ground, and we're here today to run a range of 16 Vickers machine guns to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the disbandment of the Machine Gun Corps. The Machine Gun Corps was a war-raised unit, so it was raised in 1915 to centralise the sort of command, control, training of machine guns. So put together that Vickers machine gun into a particular organisation. Vickers was their totem. As many as 200,000 served in the Machine Gun Corps, with as many as 120,000 at any one time. The Machine Gun Corps existed until 1922, when machine guns were returned to the infantry battalions and cavalry regiments. So what we have today is 16 guns that demonstrate the timeline of the Vickers from 1914 through the period of the Machine Gun Corps up to 1922, and then from 1922 through to the last Vickers in service in the 1960s. We're going to sort of talk through that timeline and then show some different capabilities, so traversing fire, weight of fire, and then the different rates of fire as well. We had to put together all those principles that the Ministry of Defence use, so safe place, safe practice, safe people, safe equipment, and pulling all that together as a civilian organisation. We've borrowed machine guns from other private organisations, firearms dealers that may use them for film work, for demonstration purposes, experiment and research. Pulled those together, we've managed to get the people trained up to a recognised standard that's been verified by the National Rifle Association as well. The safe place is obviously here at Bisley, and we've been able to identify the range where we can do that, the appropriate location, and as well as making that not just safe for the firing, but safe for people to observe, and then the safe equipment. So those guns have had to be inspected and checked, and the ammunition had to be purchased as new ammunition as well.
All the guns that will be firing today on the points, they will all be gauged to say that they're within tolerance and safety tolerances, that the barrels still remain an element of accuracy. So I'm looking for wear in the barrels, so they could be worn out. That could be in the throat or in the muzzle. So, but generally, if the throat's worn, the muzzle's worn. And then that the cartridge will sit correctly within the chamber, and it's not too big or not too small, which can cause us equally as many problems. But some of these guns are 100 years old, and 100 plus years old. So, you know, some of these 104, 105 years old. Well, it's important because if we don't get the chamber pressure, the chamber size correct when we're measuring, if it's oversized, we can suffer a breech explosion, and that will write one of these guns off if we're not careful. So we like to make sure that they're within tolerance, and if they're within tolerance, that means the guns will go on for a good few years more.
We are sealing the barrel to the casement so that when it holds 9 pints of water,
it doesn't leak, something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't leak, and it cools the gun.
This is the 22nd century version with PTFE tape as opposed to asbestos. Right, I'm thinking.
The 16 guns we had representing the different uniforms of the time as well, just to give us something to talk about, those people that would have been using the machine guns from the 1914 British Expeditionary Force, the Machine Gun Corps as they were on the Western Front, the Machine Gun Corps Cavalry, the Machine Gun Corps in the Middle East, then the interwar period, as well as the Guards Machine Gun Regiment as well, the interwar period where guns were in infantry regiments, the Second World War machine gun battalions, some factory workers as well, with a women's team running that, and then airborne British Army in the Second World War, the British Army in Italy, the Middle East, and the Far East as well, and then going through to the post-war period of the 1960s. It's important to have that representation so that they don't think that machine guns are just a Great War thing or just a Second World War thing, but this longevity of service that most people would think of the Vickers and perhaps the Machine Gun Corps as that's where it ended, the Great War. Machine guns become obsolete after that, or we all go to light machine guns, Brens, MG42s. No, this was a 1900s, an Edwardian machine gun that existed in service right through to those 1960s.
For me, I'm not British, but a lot of people, of course, British people fought in the Second World War. So for them, having probably relatives who served in whatever battalion or regiment, for them it's a big part of their history, their family's history. For me, it's just one of the many regiments I portray, depending on what I'm doing with reenactment.
One of the things that's great about events is portraying your hobby, I would say your passion, showing it to the public. I remember as a kid, and you remember as well, seeing these events. So to take it a next step and be able to actually show some firearms in action, which the public will not normally get to see at this level, is something very special.
They're puttees, which is the Indian word for bandage, and it gives you support on your calves. Kind of acts a bit like a gaiter as well, so you're getting support, stopping crap going in your shoes, stopping crap getting on your trousers.
So you've got mess tins, sewing kit, gloves, hat for wearing under your helmet, towel, knife and spoon, or fork and spoon there, housewife, which has got shaving kit in it, toothbrush, emergency ration, so that's a chocolate ration there. This is a cap comforter, so it's another type of warm hat, but can also be a scarf. Ration bag, so you can put any spare food in your bag. Flannel, some string just in case. A pair of socks, and that's everything out of there, and also a jumper, and this is a gas cape, but you'd also have a ground sheet cape as well.
So we're shooting number 6 gun, which is themed in Mesopotamia. So we're wearing tropical gear, which is not so short shorts, but we're wearing khaki drill, which is cotton uniform rather than serge wool, which would be horribly hot in those climates. And we wear the topi or pith helmet. They believed that it would keep the sun off of our heads and stop us from going mad. Underneath, if we was in totally authentic, we'd also be wearing a padded spine protector to protect our spine from the sun. It was believed it would dry out the fluids in our spine. I mean, the Victorians had some crazy ideas that carried through.
Numbers 2 need to be really aware of how those belts are looking when you get them out of the ammunition boxes. Some of those ammunition boxes are grotty and horrible. So when you know that 50 rounds is coming up, please get 50 rounds out so you don't start dragging the box in with it, or it doesn't start giving you third position stoppages to do so. So it's been a run up of around 3 months to prep for today, running training sessions with individuals that won't have fired before, won't have fired machine guns before. Certainly the vast majority of those won't have had that opportunity. Putting together not only training them, but the training plan that they needed to work to, an accreditation system for that, and a verification system as well as getting the guns inspected, proofed, all of the ammunition together, 16,000 rounds in 64 belts of ammunition in 64 boxes, everything together to get it all into this one point at Bisley. This is the first time all of those things have come together today.
Once on there, it needs to be horizontal at all times and kept pointing at the target.
To safely organise a day like today, because it's virgin territory in terms of Section 5, mass Section 5 firing for demonstration, we had to take military best practice and the safe system of training and think, how do we apply this to historic weapons? And one of the things that we came across was that historic drills aren't as safe as they could be. They aren't as safe as modern drills. And people will say, well, why aren't you doing historic drills? Well, because they actually got quite a lot of people killed training for the First and Second World War. So we had to adopt the historic stuff for the modern stuff and just make sure that the range was best practice, and we stayed within the letter of the law and achieved what we wanted to achieve, which was demonstrating and commemorating the Machine Gun Corps.
Ladies and gentlemen, just good afternoon really. Welcome to the weather as well, we weren't expecting that. I'm Rich Fisher and this is the Vickers MG Collection and Research Association. So we've got 16 guns on show today. Thankfully, all 16 guns worked after the test fire as well. So that's the equivalent of a machine gun company in the Great War. 16 guns is the support that an infantry brigade would have had. So those 4 battalions in an infantry brigade, nearly 4,000 men would have had these 16 Vickers machine guns supporting them.
Number 1 gun, 200, figure 12 target in front, 50 rounds at the normal rate. Your time, go up!
So I'll hold you here. When I'm nearly there, I'll just tap you. I'll count to 8, tap you again, leave you again.
The Vickers fire is a 25 round burst, no matter what it's doing. The variable amount is the time between those bursts. So it can do this because of the water cooling. It won't boil until after 600 rounds at the normal rate of fire, which is 8 seconds between bursts. With this rate, we fire one bout every 2 minutes. If we increase the rate of fire for an emergency, we still won't fire non-stop, but give the fire the chance to relay with the aim of the gun, so making sure we're hitting what we're aiming at, and give the gun a moment to cool a little. So with the rapid rate, we have 2 seconds between bursts, and we'll fire one bout per minute. I'd like to thank those who've supported this shoot. So the association receives no external funding for this, so please consider how you can support us. Many of you are shooters and will know the costs of what we've demonstrated today so far and to go on. So it's currently around £5 to £6 per second per gun. Everyone here is a volunteer and we're a not-for-profit organisation. In 2 weeks' time, we will be hosted by the National Army Museum in London. We can't do this kind of event in Chelsea, so it wouldn't go down too well. So you'll see another side of the association's activities then. Please do join us, that's the 16th of July, Saturday. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Tom Waite, our RCO, for the afternoon for our finale shoot.
All guns! All guns! 200! Figure 12 in front! All remaining ammunition! All remaining ammunition! At the rapid rate! At the rapid rate! Fire!
So I'm really pleased with how today went. Everybody's been telling me it went really well, which is great because of course I'm a nitpicker, I'd find holes in everything. But the feedback from today has been absolutely superb. Everybody I've spoke to has given us great feedback and said they've enjoyed it and learned something from it. So that's a win for both of us.
I think it went pretty well. Lots of learning points, lots of points of development. We were to run the shoot again. I think we did give the guns justice. I think it was quite impressive, and to see all the way from the First World War through to 1968 was an incredible thing. I think a really special kind of event to run, even though it was a lot of work to organise. Still a great thing to be involved with.
We've had a fantastic afternoon. It's not core to what we do, but I mean the opportunity is to throw our gates open and show the great British public and the enthusiasts actually something a little bit about military history and live firing demonstrations. I think what's impressed me today is the professionalism of the Machine Gun Association's team. Their technical work and the reassurance they're able to give my own staff actually have been exemplary. So we're very happy dealing with professional outfits of this nature.
Perfectly safe drill. All the fears were waylaid. It went according to plan, and if it didn't, I'm unaware of it.
What a feeling, that was so good. When she ran well, you have to keep checking the elevation though, because it can easily get carried away. My God.
Best thing you've ever done?
Pretty much, yeah. With firearms at least, yeah, definitely.
Definitely. That was good.
Yeah?
It's hard now, just I think we overheated the gun a little bit, but it went well.
Enjoyable?
Yeah, as you would. A few stoppages, but I think it's more to do with the belts, not the gun itself.
Decent, gun worked well. Belts were a bit niffy at times, but the stoppages got cleared pretty quickly.
It was very exciting, especially 16 guns, so yeah, thrilling.
Best thing you've ever done?
I can't say that with my wife next to me.
That's the most fun you can have with your puttees on, I think.
The best part of today was doing the final burst when I actually managed about 350 rounds, and I think I got them all on the bank, which was awesome really. I mean, just amazing.
It was lovely. It was really nice that this one girl just stood waiting for the women to have a photo taken with her. It really showed that girls are interested in shooting and in guns, and it was lovely to see, yeah.
At the start we thought we was going to have a disaster, but we fixed it, and yeah, in the end of the day it went really well. Yeah, I was very pleased. The last detail, the last mad 2 minutes where we used up ammunition was absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome.
We'd love to do more of this. I don't think it'll be on this scale. Perhaps, just firing machine guns can, I don't know, perhaps it can get a bit boring, maybe not. We'll certainly be able to demonstrate something, maybe different capabilities, maybe different elements, maybe different styles of things in the future as well. So the Vickers MG Collection and Research Association is a not-for-profit organisation. We have no external sponsors. We are generated and supported by our members, donations, funding, book sales, things like that. So if anybody does want to support us, then please go onto our website, join us on Patreon, find us on YouTube, watch that stuff. It all helps, but perhaps find our shop as well. Learn more about the machine gun and the Machine Gun Corps by buying some of our books and visiting us in Swindon, Wiltshire, where you can see the collection as it stands on permanent display there.